What is going on, everybody? And welcome to a special edition of the Dynamite Review Show, as I like to call it, your AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view review for 2023. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Tricology himself. And with me is my co-host, Mr. Leland Benford. What's up, and how is your Memorial Day weekend going?
Memorial weekend is going well. What is up, everybody? We had a weekend full of wrestling, and we're going to be talking about the Double or Nothing for 2023. Man, to look back at this Double or Nothing compared to like when the first one happened, when it first started, this company has come a long, long way. And I was watching like the battle royale, like the casino battle royale. I just kept thinking about how that first one was compared to like how this one is. And this company has just come such a long way.
Yeah, I say it was a great pay-per-view. Not as perfect, but still great, because I still believe that Revolution so far is the best AEW pay-per-view for this year. But we still got Forbidden Door coming up. We got All In coming up at Wembley Stadium. I don't know if they're going to do All Out. They said they was going to do All Out, but we'll just have to wait and see after All In. And then we also got Full Gear for this year. But a lot of the build for these matches was kind of rushed, but in the end, they always deliver. But now, at the now Double or Nothing, now Tony Khan can focus on Collision and Forbidden Door coming up next month. So it's going to be very interesting where they go from here. But that's my overall review. Great pay-per-view, not perfect, but still great, and it delivered at the end.
Yeah, I would say some of the matchups had like quick build-ups, but I'd say for the majority of the matches that really was the main events, those had like some long build-ups, like the Leland Black Bull Combat Club that been going for a minute, and the Pillars storyline has been going for a minute. And then also even with Tony Storm and Hayter, even that rivalry has been going on for quite some time. So there was a couple of matches where I didn't even know Acclaim was on the card, and we'll definitely get into it more. But it was some matches where I didn't even know that was going to be a match that we was going to see. So, but yeah, definitely see what you're saying. But I had a good time with it. I actually just got done watching it, guys. So it's still, I'm still coming off that Anarchy in the arena match. But it definitely was a fun pay-per-view. And I would say definitely one of their best of the year.
Yeah, and we're gonna break down every match there is and give our pros and cons of what's to come after those results. So let's get into the first buy-in match. It was the trios match between the Hardy Brothers and the FTW champion Hook against Ethan Page and the Guns. Pretty fun opener for what it was. I didn't expect it to go that long what it was, but then it's a still fun party match to start out over Double or Nothing with his buy-in match. But in the end, the Hardys hit a double twist of fate, and then Hook applied the red rum for the submission, and then now Matt Hardy owns Ethan Page's contract.
Yeah, I think Ethan Page. I feel like Ethan Page may be a little irritable in this program. He didn't look happy last night out there. He didn't look like he was really enjoying the program or the night. Maybe that was character I could be reading into it. Maybe that's what he wanted me to do. But yeah, pretty good opener. Good to see the Hardy Boys back at it. Cassidy on the side of the ring. I'm not sure how injured he was since he was still kind of involved in the match. And that was just Hook kind of getting some more reps in. I didn't forget about the FTW championship. But I think they should definitely give that FTW championship to maybe a more experienced, like hardcore guy. And maybe that can be kind of their hardcore belt in a way where you can have more of that kind of that edge to that belt. But yeah, definitely a great opener match. Also, before we talk about the match, did you check out that Renee Paquette was out there with Paul White and Stokely Hathaway and my man's, and they had this whole pre-show panel, kind of like similar to what WWE does. I think this is my first time kind of noticing that in their pre-show kind of setup.
Yeah, that's one of the new changes going into to year 4 at AEW. I know that there was a lot of changes here going there.
A
So
lot of changes. Also, commentating desk at ringside. That was
I don't
the
know. I don't
first
know
for
if
AEW.
yeah, I don't know if that's going to be permanent and they're going to be at ringside, but
Or if it was
we'll see.
just for this arena. I don't know if there was something that prevented them from putting it where it usually is, up on the stage. But this is the first time we had the commentator desk at ringside, and you kept hearing the commentators get irritated that people were coming over there messing with them. But I also think I think it kind of added a lot to the night because now the action was right there in front of them. They felt the ring. So I definitely think it added to some of the excitement from the commentators with it being right there in front of them. But we'll see if that's something that stick. But that was something I definitely noticed was that pre-show panel, which I did like the pre-show panel because it did add more story context to it. And Stokely Hathaway was hilarious. One bit where they said take it from a giant, and then Stokely said, "As a giant myself," which he's the smallest person there. But I think yeah, having the commentator desk at ringside was different, and that panel was different. So that was some key differences from what we're used to from them.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see. Those changes will definitely move forward to the next upcoming pay-per-views. But yeah, but before we wrap up with the buy-in, we got an announcement concerning the Orange Cup 2023 Open ceremonies. So Renee Paquette welcomes Dr. Martha Hart to the stage, where both trophies and titles for the Orange Hart Cup was set up. Paquette talked about the tournament kicking off at Forbidden Door. As Hart said, it's great to be back in Vegas and AEW. Tony Khan walked out wearing a Ferretta with the Orange Heart Foundation logo on it. As Hart talked about the schedule of the Orange Heart Cup, and it will wrap up at Calgary Stampede. So that's the special edition of a collision show. So that it's gonna wrap up in Canada for that particular collision show, the Calgary Stampede special edition of Collision. So I know the first Owen Hart Cup, we had a couple winning with Adam Cole and Britt Baker. I say this time we gotta let someone who probably never been on TV as much, or who's just getting their feet wet, or who is a future world champion to win the Owen Hart Cup this year. I know I have my picks, but I just want to wait and see who they're gonna announce for the tournament for the men and the women.
And it's like also like for the Owen Cup, it's like this is kind of I think that award or that belt should be definitely for someone who is like a workhorse of the company, someone who is coming up, or you know what I mean? Like I know the last one went to Adam Cole and Britt Baker, and I know why they did that. They had a lot of big PR plans for Adam Cole and Britt Baker before Adam Cole got injured. But I think definitely this one needs to be something, someone that deserves that recognition in the company, someone that's been busting their butt, working their butt off, and every time they go out there, it's a great show. Like I think it may not match him too much, but I think like Eddie Kingston may deserve a belt, but it's not a belt that really can be defended, but it's this tournament and how much will people rally around Eddie to win a tournament like that, you know. So I think a guy like that and a woman like that has been busting their butt, and they need that recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait to see who's going to be in the tournament, so I can get my full prediction of who I think is going to win. So it's going to be very interesting this year. So that's everything for the buy-in. So they even had an intro to start Double or Nothing with AEW presents Double or Nothing. So that's one of the new things that they put out as well.
Yeah, with a whole cinematic voice guy and a whole package. They got that new Warner Brothers money. They're like, let's go big.
They most certainly did. And to start our Double or Nothing, we have the Black Jab Battle Royal with the for the AEW International Championship. I think this is one of the better battle royals that AEW has put on for the last for 3 years.
I definitely agree.
Yeah,
this is the battle royale I was watching, and I was like, man, if you go back and watch their first Casino Battle Royale, remember they used to kind of had it where people came out with different, you know, the clubs, the hearts. And now with this one, everybody just came out, which I think is a good pace to it. But then also, I just felt like the storytelling was better inside the ring as far as these little rivalries that were happening. Every rivalry that was in there had its own kind of moment where we kind of saw a little bit more of that rivalry going more and more and more. So I think the storytelling was really good inside this chaotic kind of match, and honestly it set the tone for the rest of the night, because chaos is what this night was really about.
Yeah, we got some fun interactions, continuations of curve feuds, like you mentioned, surprise eliminations, and a really great finish to end the match. But let me go through the participants that was in the match in the order of elimination. Tony Nese, Ari Daivari, Commander, Kit Sabian, Chuck Taylor, The Blade and the Butcher, Bandito, Lee Moriarty, Trip Beretta, Keith Lee, Ray Phoenix, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Dustin Rose, and then we were left with the final four, which was Penta, Big Bill, Swerve Strickland, and the current champion, Orange Cassidy.
How great was Big Bill last night?
Man, he was a standout.
Big Bill, all the luchas working together at certain points to get other people out. The Ricky Starks and Bullet Club Gold rivalry was on full display there. Oh my God, I seen a brief opportunity to see Bullet Club Gold versus the Lucha Bros, which is a new tag team kind of mashup, but I think those guys would freaking kill it in a rivalry. But yeah, like I said, a lot of good story. Keith Lee and Brian Cage in there kind of working on behalf of Swerve. Swerve is so good, man. Swerve is just such a good performer, such a good wrestler. The note Swerve did not get in the ring at the start of the match, but waited until much longer, which may have helped him since he was a part of the last four, that you mentioned.
Yeah, that shows how smart Swerve Strickland is. And in the final four, Penta was the first to be eliminated, then Big Bill, and then you had your final two with Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy. And if Orange Cassidy would have lost and to Swerve Strickland, I wouldn't mind that at all. But in the end, Orange Cassidy came out on top. He is still the champion, and in his dominant reign, as I like to call it. And man, who's going to take that belt from him?
How great was that finish, though?
Oh, yeah.
That finish was great. I mean, it was so Orange Cassidy. I think Swerve did such a good job. If you haven't watched it, Swerve and Orange Cassidy was on the apron. They both were hanging on to the rope. Swerve went for another Meteora, but Orange Cassidy put his feet up and hit Swerve. And then Orange Cassidy got up, He had his fist balled up. We think we're going to go for an orange punch. Swerve is grabbing the rope and he's leaning off. If he let go of that rope, he would have fell off. And then Orange Cassidy just walks up and kicks his arm. And Swerve's performance with the grabbing for the tapped rope, that was perfect. And that's how he won. Just a kick of the arm, and Swerve let go and went to the floor, and Cassidy retained his title. But that was just such a really well done ending.
Yeah, absolutely. And Orange Cassidy is still the AEW International Champion. Who's going to take the belt from him? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. But great battle royal, such a big improvement from if you go back and watch the first one, man, you like, man, this company came a long way.
Next up, we have Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match with Sabu as the special enforcer. Now, the special enforcer did his job, but he wasn't there for the most of the match as Sabu and Roger Strong got rid of the JAS, and then there was a point in the match where Sabu dived from the top rope and landed on I think it was Angela Parker through the table. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then afterwards that they cleared out all the JHS, they was gone, and then we finally got the one-on-one match that we needed. So yeah, they did everything they could to give us the best match possible, even though I felt the crowd was dead for most of the match. But it is what it
the crowd was really dead on this match. The crowd was not giving a crap about this match. I don't know if this match should have been put a little bit further behind or a little further down the card or what, but yeah, they were not behind this match too much.
Yeah, I felt like that should have went on later tonight, but it is what it is.
Do you remember back in WWE when they were really trying to push Roman? Like, we were telling them to push Roman, and then when they did push Roman, we booed the shit out of Roman, and then like when he won the Royal Rumble and The Rock came out, like the Boston crowd just booed the crap out of him, even though we've been wanting to push from him for a long time. When they finally got it, they booed the crap out of him. I think that's kind of the same thing that's happening with Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole has a lot of respect from wrestling fans, but we can see when you're trying to over push somebody, and then it doesn't feel natural anymore. And I think that's what's going on with Adam Cole.
I don't think there was really booing Cole because they was happy at the end, but just not the way it was meant to finish. But we'll get to that in a moment because in the middle of the match, Britt Baker came out and got her licks in on Jericho with the kendo stick. Soraya tried to come in, but she ended up hitting a kendo stick as well, and as when they ran to the backstage. But the ending of the match, that's what people got upset about. Because when Jericho got the chain with the handcuffs, it's kind of similar to they turned that unsanctioned match to a chain match. So it's basically kind of like a strap match, but instead of the strap, they use chains. Because if you go watch the chain match between Kane and Triple H back in 2001, you see what I'm talking about. But yeah, they got the chain. I don't know what Jericho was planning to do, but his plan kind of backfired after Adam Cole got his handcuff to the chain, but then Cole put the other hand of the handcuffs on Jericho, and he had nowhere to go. And then, but at the end, when Adam Cole was beating down Jericho with the chain, I don't know if it was his left eye or right eye that got busted as Cole was beating him down, and then referee Arbor Evers had to stop the match because Jericho couldn't defend himself. So yeah, that crowd was quiet for the finish of it, but in the end, Adam Cole wins due to referee stoppage. So yeah,
but like the wins didn't matter in this one because it was unsanctioned. So I don't know. I guess her one job there was to say who's the winner and who's not the winner. And if Jericho can't defend himself, then what do you do in that situation? Because that was her one job, was to say this person won. She wasn't there to stop any rules or to break up any rope breaks or anything like that. It was completely chaos in that whole match. So I guess her one job there was to say this person won because they beat the crap out of this person. So, but again, when we hear unsanctioned, we think everything goes, all thing goes, and until the 1, 2, 3 or submission. So it's like, why not just do a traditional submission or whatever? But I guess it's so they can keep. I guess it's so they can keep the food going because it wasn't really a pinfall. It wasn't really a submission. It was the stoppage, and so now they can keep the feud going because no one has officially really pinned the other guy yet.
Exactly. So that feud is far from over, and we'll get to more in that in a few moments of the show. But next up we have FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett for the AEW Tag Team titles with Mark Briscoe as the guest referee. Now I know some people have mixed emotions with the build up and with Jeff Jarrett being in this match, but from everything that happened, everybody played their roles great in this feud, and a job well done with everyone who was involved. And but in the end, the FTR retains the AEW Tag Team titles. And then Mark Briscoe saw what Jeff Jarrett was up to, and I was like, nah, you done messed up, and it is what it is. So even in the match, Mark Briscoe got laid out with the guitar at the end, and then Aubrey Edwards will try to replace Mark Briscoe, but she ended up hitting a guitar shot from Kara Jarrett, and then and the crowd was all over Kara Jarrett in the match. So but yeah, like I said, in the end, FTR retained the tag team titles.
Yeah, definitely. This match was it just felt like one of those old school Southern kind of matches. You know, the hijinks will happen. It was everywhere at once. I think Mark Briscoe did a good job as the referee and took the spots and everything. And but no, I think a match like that can only happen with like a mind like FTR and Jarrett and Jay Lethal, these veterans in the game. And then with Jarrett being such a Southern, wrestler coming up and going through all these different promotions. I mean, he really knows what works in what different promotions. And this is definitely probably like a cornet type match, those WCW type match. And that's what you get with an FTR match. It's supposed to be a throwback. It's supposed to be, that's their whole gimmick, is that they're a throwback company. They're living legends and they got this. So, I mean, this was exactly how their match is supposed to go. And it is supposed to be that throwback kind of match. And that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like that kind of wrestling that, we would see on Mid-South and all these other, territories back in the day. So it was a great match. You got the crowd involved. They got the crowd. The crowd wasn't in there for Jericho and Cole. Definitely got back engaged with FTR. And then I think that match kept them for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's what I have to agree on that. But in the end, FTR retained the tag team titles. And moving on, Alex Morales was backstage with Ricky Starks, who asked about the Bullet Club Gold. And right on cue, they Butcher Starks, but FTR came and rush shot in and saved Starks. But I think Starks might have some backup with FTR against his feud with Jay White and Juice Robinson.
That was interesting, right? I wasn't expecting for FTR to come to Ricky Starks defense. That was very interesting.
Yeah, because they probably saw it when they was walking from the stage to the backstage arena, and they probably saw it. So that was right on cue. That was right on cue.
So definitely not done with that rivalry yet.
Yeah, and speaking of rivalries not done, Chris Jericho and Saraya was furious backstage, demanding Tony Khan to give them a mixed tag team match against Britt Baker and Adam Cole this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. And then, one random security guard showed up, tell them to calm down, but he suffers a fireball from the Wizard. I was like, when I saw that security guard gonna come, I was like, I know what's gonna happen, and I said, wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong.
The best line was, "I'm a wizard, bitch." That's so fun to say. Just imagine if a character in Harry Potter was doing that. That is so fun to say.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I feel bad for that security guard, but like I said, wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, but that was so. But now we got a intergender tag match, mixed gender tag match coming up on Dynamite. Also, want to say real quick, I do believe in that Jericho and Adam Cole match, they were trying to help set up the game. Since I know in the trailer for the game, you see this fire extinguisher and everything like that, and you're going to be able to do that in the game. And I was like, I don't know if they're doing some subtle stuff to kind of, like, we haven't seen a fire extinguisher be involved in a match in a while, but now it is. And I don't know if that is to help kind of get people excited about the video game, which has the official release date of June 29th, which I'm so excited about because I've been waiting to get my hands on this damn game for a minute. But I did notice things last night, and I was like, I wonder if they're doing this spot just because they can do it at the game, and then people see it and then think about the game and all that. So, but yeah, just wanted to bring that up real quick.
Yeah, they did a trailer to the AEW Fight for Era game, but it was mostly hyping up the Fatal 4-Way match.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Wardlow versus Christian Cage in a ladder match for the TNT Championship. I believe this is one of the better TNT Championship matches that we had in weeks or months, whatever you want to say. But this was a pretty good ladder match. Not perfect, but a very good ladder match. So anytime you see Christian Cage in a ladder match, you expect to see some pretty big spots. Even Wardlow challenging his Jeff Hardy, his inner Jeff Hardy from WrestleMania 2000 with that Swanton Bomb through the tables onto the Luchasaurus, and that was great. Even Arn Anderson got some piece of Luchasaurus biting his thumb. So like, if Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear off, and Arn Anderson out here biting thumbs.
That was a wild spot. I mean, these guys went with the fluff. Christian turtleneck Cage, which was very odd for you to have on a turtleneck, with no sleeves on it, and the crowd was even screaming out turtleneck to him. But yeah, definitely a this was a really good ladder match. Like, like, it wasn't perfect. They had a couple of missed spots. Wardlow jumped on a ladder and the ladder broke because he's a big dude jumping on the damn ladder. But yeah, it had his great spots. Luchasaurus took a swanton from a big man from a very tall ladder. That was a crazy spot. I mean, you can tell Wardlow doesn't know how big he is because he's doing these Jeff Hardy spots. Swanton bombs, you can tell that Jeff Hardy really influenced him growing up. But yeah, really entertaining match. The crowd was into it. So yeah, really entertaining match. And you're right, it's one of the better matches for TNT. I think the last match before that I really liked was the match with Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow. Not the first time that Powerhouse won the belt. Not when he lost it.
Yeah, I was like, thank God the TNT title did not hot potato tonight. So thank God Warlow will retain the title tonight. At least I was happy about that. I was happy about
Yep. That was a good match though. Really good.
Yeah. And then Tony Storm challenging JB Hater for the AEW Women's World title. So the truth was really true about Hater being legitimately injured. So I think she had a shoulder injury and then other injuries that never persisted. But this was very quick. While Hater did get a little offense, but but it was nothing like the other battles that they had before. But there was a lot of interference, and this unfortunately is why they had to do what they had to do. If Hater's going to be out for a little bit, I don't know how long. Maybe for this summer, but we'll see how it goes. But credit to Jamie Hater for toughing it out. But in the end, congratulations to Toni Storm. She is the new AEW Women's World Champion, who's been really crushing it lately with her winning streak, and also she is now the first ever two-time AEW Women's World Champion. So at least she deserves another a better run that she had before. And if Tony and if Jamie Hayter could be back in time, I would say around All In, because she is from because she's from the England area. So if she can be back in time for that, then she can get her belt back. So that's why I think it's gonna happen. Let Toni Storm have a run with the belt, and if Jamie Hayter can come back at All In, then Jamie Hayter can gain the championship back.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And also is good if she does need to take a break, that before any major injuries happen, or if any major kind of if it gets too worse, before it should. So but no, they had a really good match. Not too much interrupt. Well, I guess Ruby was no, it was a lot of interruption in this match. They were very involved. But still a really good match. And Tony Storm does make a good champion. I wasn't expecting it. The finish seemed like it wasn't going to be the finish. Like there should have been like one more kick out or something. But nonetheless, new champ and new.
Yep. So, and then, like I said, Toni Storm is the first ever two-time AEW Women's World Champion. So that's there. And we now enter the House of Black. And as they have their open house rules, open challenge for the AEW the trios titles. So what's your thoughts on the trios titles? We're returning from gold to silver as the House of Black's custom trios titles.
Yeah, I noticed that, man. I was like, look at that, a whole new belt. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's theirs, and some of they might have this for a while with all these House of Black rules and everything like that. So it seems like they're gonna be having it for quite a bit. Um, but I love the whole House of Black rules and how the whole show changes. I think they finally got something that really, that works for them, that really looks good with them. And I think, they had a couple of different ways of doing an intro, but I think they finally landed on something that really works.
Yeah, and the Acclaim answered the open challenge. Caster's rap compared Brody King to someone on on RuPaul's Drag Race, and then he also said Matthews was being chucked by a kid named Dominic. So, which was a great line. In case y'all don't know what that means, they in WWE, Rhea Ripley is the actual real girlfriend Buddy Matthews, but Rhea Ripley is now on a on-screen couples screen with Dominic Mysterio in the Judgment Day. So you got to know where that line come from. And then Cass also said they don't need a dealer's choice option for this match. I guess that kind of slipped out of the window there. But this was a great strong title defense for the House of Black, who really kept Bowens isolated for the long stretch of the match. The Acclaim and Daddy Ass put up a good fight, but in the end, the House of Black was on a whole nother level, and they retained their AEW Trios titles.
Yeah, definitely didn't even know that Claim was going to be a part of this, but it was a nice surprise. Give it up for Bowens, who really, took the punishment of the night, for the Acclaimed. I mean, I don't think Caster was in there for too long. Daddy Ass wasn't in there for too long. It was mostly Bowens. So shout out to Bowens, who had a hard night. But it was one more line from Caster's rap. Oh, the House of Black. How you can call it the House of Black, but you don't have any black guys? That I had a pop on that one. That was funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one too. That was yeah, that was funny too. But yeah, man, the House of Black, they on a whole nother level.
Dominant. They're a dominant trio. I don't see any trio coming to take their spot anytime soon. They're no, I don't see them guys doing it either. I was gonna say the World of Agony over the Ring of Honor, those guys, but nah, this is a tough. I think those trio tournament and the trio belts are gonna be um home with them for a while.
Yep. Good luck to any trios that can try to take the title from the House of Black. But we'll see how that goes. But moving on. Jade Cargill versus Tyra Valkyrie for the TBS title. And let me just say this. This one was more better than the first one that they did because they didn't have no stupid, silly stipulation adding to it. So I felt like this was the better match that they had in the first time. But in the end, the champ retains and remains undefeated for the time being. But after the match, Mark Sterling said Cargill would defend the title anytime, anywhere, and there was no one left. And then before you knew, then Mark Sterling fucked up for Jade Cargill as Chris Stanlander made her return to a huge ovation, and then we finally got a impromptu TNT Championship match, and Cargill missed the pump kick, and Stanlander hit the roundhouse kick, corner a charge for the knee lift, and attempted a Stanley vertical suplex, which Cargill escaped. Cargill tried to hit the pump kick and tried to J in, but Stanlander reversed into a night fever to win the title. As the crowd went insane, even the confetti was pouring down, and Stanlander signed saying that mama's home. And this was quite the return for Stanlander, who battled so many injuries and finally got her moment. And let me just say this: if she didn't have to battle with so many injuries in the past, I felt like that she would have been the champion then. But I felt like doing it what they did last night was the better moment to do it. And the streak is over. Our title reign over. Now Jade Cargill can finally move to the AEW Women's World Title picture now.
Yeah, this was an incredible moment. I think this is like that Money in the Bank kind of moment, that same kind of feeling of like, oh no, a big return and then title change immediately. This they had that kind of feel to it. They did let Jade get to 60-0. Now she's 60-1. You guys know I'm a big Jade Cargill fan, and this was an amazing moment. I was screaming at my damn TV while it was happening. Give it up to Jade coming out representing her AKA sorority. And also just making sure that she represent Black culture, which I think she does a really good job of doing. But it seems like she's going to be taking some time off for a little bit. She has been working kind of straight for like 2 years, so it seems like she might be taking a little bit of time off while she, and then. But I mean, hey, a rookie record of 60-1 can't no one top that in the wrestling biz. So give it up for Jade. I think she was a hell of a TBS champion. But I'm really happy to see Chris Statlander back. She was always one of my favorites. I can see why they didn't let Tyra get it because Chris is a AEW original, been there since day one. But this, like I said, this just definitely gave me that Money in the Bank type excitement. And it was like a first for AEW to do something like that.
Yeah, and yeah, I would even though she didn't have a like a poker chip or anything, but like I said, Mark Sterling fucked up for Jade and told her like she could defend the title anywhere. So Jade, she can't blame nobody but Mark Sterling, who opened his mouth. That's all I can say. Open his mouth.
That is true, but yeah, definitely still a really good match between these two ladies too. Like, there was a couple of moments where I was like, "Oh no, she's about to lose!" Like I really thought that Tyra Valkyrie was going to be the one to get that pin on her. That was a really good, really, really well done match for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really good at the end. So a huge
good. I thought it was going to be Mercedes Moné. Because I think I feel like everyone keep waiting for her to kind of come over or make her appearance. But I'm even happier that it was Chris Statlander since she's, again, like I said, an AEW original.
I will wait until Forbidden Door. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, that one makes more sense. But I know, like they had just showed that Willow beat Mercedes for the belt. So I thought because they were showing all, Willow just beat her and everything, that it was a chance of her kind of making an appearance. But yeah, I think Forbidden Door definitely makes sense for them to come. But that's what I was thinking, just because they were showing all that Willow Nightingale stuff, and I thought that was kind of random to show that. But again, I'm happy with Chris Statlander being the person because I'm a huge fan of Chris. Good to see her back.
Yeah, absolutely. And then but moving on. We go to one of our first double main events is the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW World Championship. So during Sammy Guevara's entrance, he brought out the cue cards along with Ty Mello, and they announced that Ty is pregnant. So a huge congratulations to Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara. And as Tay gave her husband a kiss before he went out to the ring, a huge congratulations.
Yeah, young couple, but they have their first baby. It also kind of helped for a story line in a little bit because now everyone was saying that Guevara had extra motivation now that he's going to be a peppy.
Yes, sir. And Darby Allin, he came out to a special entrance as well, as Darby Allin was interrupted a wedding ceremony put on by Elvis, impersonated Elvis, and then Allin beat up someone with an MJF mask on, and then Allin and the King tape up that guy as Allin rode into the arena wearing an Elvis jumpsuit, which was half skeleton paint, and then this was a great interest for me. I love that interest, and then before you know it, MJF was lowered down, sitting on a throne, and welcomed by a Harlem of women lined out down to the ramp, and then Tony Khan Tony Schiavone was not pleased about that. So his hatred between MJF, but I feel bad for Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Yeah, he only had a stand. He's the only one that had a standard interest, so I feel like he was kind of left out there.
Yeah, Jungle Boy kind of had the kind of the regular one. Everyone else had something a little extra to their entrance that night. Um, MJF walking down with the ladies fawning over him. I mean, that's very MJF. Um, but yeah, out of all the entrances, I think Darby had the one with the most kind of different to him with the half Elvis, half skeleton kind of suit. But also, congratulations to Guevara again, making that a big announcement in front of the world like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you something. And this goes out to all the haters out there talk about the pillars are belittle midgets and stuff like that. Talking about that they ain't gonna be none. I'm like, get the F out of here. If you ain't no real AEW fan, you need to get out. Like this match here definitely proves something here. And like all four of these men could be had the title of Mr. Pay-Per-View. And these four men actually knocked it out on the park. And
Yes.
then this was the match that really got the crowd really like out of their sleeps and then and was really into it. So this was really phenomenal but to watch. And in the end, we all know it was gonna. We all predicted it. We all know what's gonna happen. And MJF retains the AEW World Title. But yeah, there was a lot of false finishes and huge moments in this match. Was very fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it showed. You know what? The one spot that really was really powerful to me was when each of the guys did a move from their mentor. And that's you guys will hear me say this a lot on the show. That's one of the things I like about AEW is that during the pandemic, they really kind of took these young guys and paired them with mentors and people who really helped them out. I mean, Jungle Boy was not good at any kind of promo. I'm not saying he's a great promo now, but he can get on the mic and he can hold his own and he can, cut promos now. So I think that was a big part of Christian Cage joining that group. And then also, Sammy has always been with Jericho from day one of Dynamite. But that spot where each guy did a move from their mentor, I thought was really cool. With MJF, of course, doing the Crossroads, Sammy doing a Code Breaker, Darby doing the Death Valley Drop. I'm sorry, the Scorpion Death Drop, and then Jungle Boy doing the Edge Cutter or whatever that move. I can't remember what Christian's move is called. But I think that was a really cool kind of tribute to all their mentors. And then also, like, these all are young guys, and I think they grew up kind of not only watching wrestling, but playing wrestling games. And for me, that's what this is like. Like, you can still see how like the AEW style is there, right? Which is their style is kind of built up from the Young Buck style. That's really how AEW matches is set up. It's kind of what the Young Buck style started. But you also can see that they're doing all these spots and they're doing all this crazy stuff. And for me, that's how we play video games. Nobody was trying to play a video game and try to have this well thought about, kind of match. No, we just jumping off everything we see we can jump off of. And that's what that reminds me of. And it just shows that the future of AEW is bright with these four guys because, I mean, that just elevated everybody. That the storytelling was good, the comedy was good from MJF, and all these other elements that happened that made it really well. And the finish was very clever.
Yeah, absolutely. So MJF is going to try his way to sneak out of the match. So he got a sneaky pin out of it. So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, again, young guys told a great story. The match was great. The match was compelling. The crowd was behind it. You didn't know who to chant for. It was moments where any of them could have got it. Big spots, big moments, and MJF is still the champ, baby.
Yeah, and yeah, we told y'all what was going to be. So like I said, MJF is not losing that title, at least not this year, but maybe in 2024. But we'll see. And The main event, which I really surprised that came on last, was the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in Anarchy in the Arena match. So the Violent Idols, same wild thing on stage as the Elite met BCC in the ring. The music kept playing in the first couple of minutes of the match. I know some people say they was kind of annoyed when the band came out and performed live. I think some people liked it better when they had the actual music playing in the audio. But yeah, it is what it is. So the music kept playing for the first couple of minutes of the match, and then the music ended when the Bucks laid out the lead singer with super kicks.
Yeah, I didn't mind the music at all. I think I wish they just wouldn't. I wish the band would have kept it felt like one song and not me hear it end and start over. Like you're a live band, just make it keep going. Like don't end it. Just keep looping it, without me knowing that the song just ended. So I wish the band would have did that. I think I was kind of waiting for them to be like, okay, so they're gonna end the music by going up there and fucking with the band or messing with the band. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So I don't know, I like the music. I thought I gave like a cinematic feel to it. People, if you look at the audience, by the third time the song was playing, people were still rocking, clapping, and singing and having a good time. So for me, that was cool with me. This match was chaotic. They had split screen, but I feel like they needed like three screens, four screens, because it was so much happening everywhere. Really good. I mean, this is just AEW at its best. I mean, to me, AEW is the only major kind of company out there that do these kind of car wreck, car crash, can't look away. It's just a mess of a match kind of matches. I don't think uh, no other company out there that's on that kind of level that has TV deals do these kind of car wreck retro ECW ish, WCW ish type of match. Um, are they pretty to look at? As Jim Ross would say, they're bowling shoe ugly, but you can't look away because there's always something happening.
Yeah, there was a lot of spots in this match where somebody suplex on a poker chip covering barbed wire, kind of similar to the going back to the very first Double or Nothing when Moxley hit the Death Rider on Omega on top of the stage with the poker chip. Um, there was even a fight at the concession stands. Somebody got power driving in the back of a pickup truck. Um, Kenny Omega channeled his inner Captain America while wielding a trash can lid. That was pretty good. There was even an exploding super kick from Matt, and then right on after he took his shoe off, Moxley grabbed the thumbtacks and then dropped Matt's barefoot onto them. I think he hit the ankle part of his foot. I was like, ooh,
His heel of his foot
ooh,
had to have like
ooh.
9 to 10 different tacks, probably more, stuck in his heel. How painful did that freaking look, dude? Like that was ridiculous. Everyone's bleeding. Of course, Moxley was the first to bleed. Everyone's bleeding. The only people who wasn't bleeding was Danielson. I don't think every other member of the Combat Club was not bleeding except for Moxley. But everyone in the elite was busted open. Dan Collins, that damn Mike. Uh, I mean, this whole match, like I said, it was hard to look away. It was a car crash. It was what is going on. Now, I will say on this arena, Anarchy in the Arena match, I feel like they didn't really take advantage of too much of the arena. I know they did the spot with Claudio and Matt out there, and he got hit in the truck or whatever. I thought that truck was going to drive off or something. I thought maybe it was somebody in the truck that they knew, and it was going to drive off. But but I guess that was just a way to get Matt away so he can get the explodey shoe, and then he kicked Moxley with the explode super kick, which was a really cool visual. Wasn't expecting that to happen the way it happened. But I felt they didn't really get a chance to like go all throughout the arena or start in a different part of the arena, how we seen other Anarchy Arena matches. But really fun match, really good time, really violent. And again, this is what I think AEW does that other companies don't do is these car wreck of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the final moments of the match, Matt had the tats placed in his mouth, and then Casanova uppercutting right out of it. That was crazy. And then Yuta hit a German suplex for 2. Omega and Page rose up, and they realized they was outnumbered, but they fought off until Page hit Danielson with the dead eye, and Omega with the one-way angel. But Yuta made the save. Omega and Page hit rolling offenses on Yuta as Page and Omega went for double butt shots. But Don Callis handed Yuta a screwdriver, and Page was hit as Callis was about to lay out Omega, who was when a masked man laid him out with a flying knee, and then it was revealed to be Coste Takeshita as Yuta got the seatbelt pin over Omega, and then after the match, Don Callis took up his belt and started choking out Omega with the BCC and Takeshita standing tall as Casanova raised Yuta on his shoulders with Moxley and Danielson posing in the corner to end the show. Even Excalibur questions if Takeshita and Callis was the member of the BCC, and Taz said, "It most certainly looks like it." I say they are, and I predicted this. I definitely predicted this that Kosei Takeshita was going to go to the dark side and go to the BCC. Now we just had to wait on for Kenny Omega to make that phone call for Kota Ibushi and then reunite the Golden Elite, and then we can have our blood and guts match.
It is moving that way. You're right. It is moving that way. Now I don't think Takasha is officially with the BBC. They were standing separate, and the BBC never grabbed Takesha's arm and raised it. They raised each other's arms. So I do believe Takesha might just be on the dark side with Don Callis, but Don Callis, I don't believe, is representing the BBC. I think this is all separate thing. Enemy of your enemy is your friend type of situation. But Takesha being the BBC was not a bad idea. They're real unstoppable then. But I do think it's a separate kind of thing. I think they're just working together, but not officially a member.
But we'll see. I think they are because remember you got 4 of the BCC and then you got 1 of Kosei Takeshita and you got 4 of the Elite, and then when Kenny Omega makes that phone call to Kota Ibushi, you have your 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think they're going to be working together, but I don't think they're officially, like Takesha is official member of the BBC, but I think they're going to put him in as that 5th member for the Blood and Guts.
Well, we'll wait till Wednesday because if you remember, Bryan Danielson and Kosei Takeshita had a friendship there, so that's why I think he might be yeah. That's why
they might make it official on Wednesday, but like watching it last night, I wasn't exactly 100% so that he was an actual member, but just someone helping, or Don Callis got involved because of now his hatred of Kenny Omega. But no, I think this was a really fun pay-per-view, really good spots, really good matches. Everybody busted their butt from top to bottom. We have a new women's champion. That was the only belts that has changed. And I think now we are on our way to Blood and Guts. I think that's where everything is going to be leading towards now. But yeah, really good. I had fun watching the pay-per-view. Worst match of the night, I guess, was Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. The crowd was not behind them. It had a funky finish, but it seemed like every other match, the crowd was really, in for the ride and was behind it.
Yep. And like I said, great pay-per-view, not all perfect, but still great. And they all deliver at the end. But now, like you said, we now can focus on Blood and Guts. We can focus on Collision coming up. We can focus on Forbidden Door coming up next month, and then going into the to the Orange Heart Cup, and then all the way to the Cavalry Stampede, which will also be on Collision. So we have a lot of things to move forward for, and we can't wait to see. And we sorry we couldn't be with y'all for the actual Dynamite review because we had a busy week, but luckily we was able to be here for you guys for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view review, and we definitely had fun with it. And we'll see if we'll be back later on this week for the actual Dynamite review. But again, thank you all for being with us for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view review, and hopefully we can do some more on that.
Oh, and next month we need to do a AEW Fight Forever review. Trico, what system are you going to get it on?
I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait to get the game and see how it is, and I'll definitely do my review because I know that Donez and Eric they definitely gonna be checking out their review on Double or Nothing as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let me know what system you get it on, and we can get on the same system so this way we can still play online. I don't know if it's like open online or whatever, but this way we can still play it and then also give our reviews on it. Invite me on that show. We can talk about our reviews. Last time I played Dinez, and you can tell Dinez I said this last time we played the New Japan game. Kind of whipped him up a little bit. I think I had like 3 matches over him. He can't really touch me in that. But I'm just saying, you can let him know I said it. But we'll see what happens in Double O or Fight Forever, because I plan on being the king in that game as well. So maybe I can get some of the RTC boys over there, and we can have a couple of Fatal 4-Way matches.
Yeah, I know. I'll be getting the game for the PS5. So yeah, and then yeah, we got the game coming out, got Collision coming up, and Forbidden Door. There's a lot of things going on, and hopefully we'll be there for the ride. And it's going to be a very interesting the summer for AEW.
Yeah. June is looking very interesting. Will CM Punk return and Collision? Will there be new belts? It's a lot of unanswered questions that we're all going to be figured out very soon. Also, yeah. Trico, just to update on our movie Empathy, we just reached 51,000 views on YouTube for our teaser trailer. So the teaser trailer is starting to blow up. We just shot some new promo content. Color is done. Audio is done. We are on the last phases of composing our music for the movie. Rather than that, everything is done. We're about to get ready to hire a company to do our official trailer, and we're getting a new poster made. So our goal to get this movie out by the end of July, we are on track for that right now. We're going to be letting you guys know more of the official premiere dates. And if you want to come out and support the film, we are having that available. That information will be available really soon.
Yeah, and the links will be in the description of below, so you can check out all the updates for Empathy and what's going to be going on. And we want to say thank you for being with us on the ride. Whoever is following our movie page, and then we will keep you guys forward and updated. And like I said, and if we're going to be back for this week for actual Dynamite review, we'll let you guys know that this week as well. But other than that, he is Leland, and I'm Trico, and we'll see y'all soon, y'all.
Peace.